we'll see how Kentucky does defensively now that they've tied the game.
Again, another thing to consider, 32 pitches for Mason Day. This is probably his last batter. He can exceed 35 because he is starting this batter with fewer than 35.
Trent Terzinski will lead things off. He singled first time up. Milwaukee Brewer fan. Pitch is low, ball 2. Comebacker off the glove of the pitcher. Deflected is short. Logsdon completes it, so that'll go 1-6-3. One away. And Christian Brenner will step in.
Well,
it's a big out for Day.
Yeah, and I tell you, Dave, this is where, you know, coaching comes into play. So he had 35 written next to his name. I saw it, meaning 35 pitches. The game's tied, so now he probably feels like Day is his best option that he had planned to go with today with the score tied. If Kentucky had not rallied to tie the game, Day, in my mind, would have been out of the game in order to have him available for Tuesday. But now with the score tied, he may try to ride him as long as he can go. He can go a maximum of 85 pitches.
Here's a strike.
And I thought it was interesting when we were talking to Dave Upright, the Kentucky head coach. He said in the league, in the league that he plays in at home, that they're into developing pitching and correcting pitching mechanics more so, and they're really mindful of the arms of these kids. And I think that echoes what Dr. James Andrews has said when speaking on Little League Baseball and discouraging the showcase and trying to work on the pitching mechanics and prevention of injuries. You know, he's a big advocate of not playing for more than one team, and a lot of these kids play in the Little League, but they also play on travel teams as well, where there's no pitch count or anything like that. So a pitcher in Little League on a Wednesday night might throw 60 pitches, but he also might be the starter on Saturday for the travel team.
So now we do have a pitching change. So we'll get a new pitcher in here. And when the new pitcher comes in, he'll inherit the 2-2 count on Brenner. Follow ESPN, the Little League World Series Facebook page. Nearly 2 million fans and growing. Go to facebook.com/ESPN LLWS. Also, please follow our Williamsport announcers at the Little League World Series for updates, photos, and news.
You know, back to a couple more points about Dr. Andrews as we change pitchers here. He talks about the risk factors for injuries, and that's year-round throwing, seasonal overuse. That's what I was speaking of about playing in Little League and also playing on a travel team on the weekend. Early breaking balls, in his mind, you should be 14 before you throw a curveball, 16 before trying to throw a splitter or a slider. He said velocity is really one of the tough things about arm injuries because everybody wants to throw hard, and that's more torque on a young elbow.
How about this? The catcher is now pitching, and the former pitcher is now catching. Meanwhile, over at Ferguson Field, we've got Illinois and Indiana just underway. No score in the first inning. So Lance Albright, the son of the coach, takes the mound in this situation. We don't see that very much outside of Little League, where a pitcher will start an inning, retire a batter, and then suddenly be replaced mid-count with the next hitter.
You know, it's interesting, too, and he replaced him with 39 pitches. I'm not really quite sure why, you know, he replaced him right in the middle of a count. Maybe he just tired. You know, maybe something happened, but you would have thought that he would have taken him out at that 35 pitch limit in order to have him available in 2 days.
Swing and a miss. Ball gets away. That'll go as a strikeout. And that strikeout will be credited to Upright.
And Mason Day, who is now the catcher, just didn't get the mitt down in time, tried to backhand it. And again, as these young kids, he's a catcher by trade, but as these young kids get older and more mature, they'll learn, instead of reaching for the baseball, they'll learn to block the baseball.
Dalton Damon fouls that pitch away.
there you saw Mason Day go to his knees right there.
Two and one. Day did a good job to block that ball, and the count is 3 and 1. That is going to roll foul, and we'll do it all again. Count is full now. Just don't think that's really unique, where you had a pitching substitution mid at bat, and just give it a special twist with the catcher going to the mound and the pitcher going to catch.
You only see that in this league.
Hard shot. Still gets the force. Loxton did a good job to hang in there 2 away. Sharply hit ball, knocked it down, picked it up, and flipped it to Burns for the force.
Yeah, nice job by Loxton to stay with it. He didn't panic and gets the force out again. It's 60 feet between the bases, but in Little League, you can't lead off. You have to stay in contact with the base until the ball reaches the batter. So a little bit of a late jump because of the rules. And Brenner was cut down as the lead runner.
Dakota Bryant will pinch hit here. First pitch is a ball.
You talked about the switching between the pitcher and the catcher. A couple of years ago, I was doing a Georgia Tech-Georgia game in college, and Danny Hall, the head coach at Georgia Tech, changed pitchers in the middle of an inning, and his catcher, who was his closer, came in to pitch the final 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. So we had to wait for him to take his gear off, and then he had to go out and warm up.
Here's the 1-1. Drops that curveball in there for a called strike. It's 1-2.
Nice little 12-6er there by Upright.
Should end the inning, and it does. Burns cleans it up. Nothing across in the bottom of the 3rd. Let's go to the 4th. We're tied at 4. Top of the 4th, we're all tied at 4 between Kentucky and Wisconsin. We got dancing umpires. We got everything going in this game. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Population, 58,000 plus. In the state of Kentucky, in less than an hour's drive to Nashville, home of the National Corvette Museum. Now, have you ever been there?
I have not.
That is worth a trip now. I have done that.
I didn't know there was one until you just told me.
Yeah, and they had a little problem with a sinkhole at that museum. Right back to the pitcher, and the out is recorded. So Dusing does a nice job right there, fielding his position. And looks like we're going to get another pinch hitter.
No, that's Holman. He's a leadoff.
Check that. Okay.
McNaughton just pinched hit. So now that Kentucky has used all 4 players at the bat off the bench. So Dave Upright has gone through his mandatory batting order.
I missed that pinch hitter. I guess I got excited about the Corvette Museum.
Well, I can understand.
It happens.
Yeah.
Conference at the mound. Looks like Dusing's going to stay in there.
Defensive changes for Wisconsin. Number 22, Tucker Stroman is now catching. 23, Brandon Palm has moved to center field.
Palm has gone to center.
Now back to number 8, third baseman.
Strawman now catching. First pitch is a ball.
Stroman trying to set maybe a record, a Little League record today. Already 4 positions for the young man. Started at second, then he went to the pitcher's mound, then to center, now behind the dish.
Ball 2. You ever been to Bowling Green, Kentucky?
No, but I have a very good friend who lives there.
It's a good town.
Maybe maybe the reason I've never been is because he never invited me to his house.
Called strike. WKU is there, Western Kentucky. Transitioning into Conference USA this year. Holman at the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Spins a curveball in there. Does Dusing, and Holman just got a piece of that. Here's the 2-2. Loaded up. Tried to bring a fastball. And it's full. Really don't have a sense of where this game is going. I don't think either team really has the momentum at the moment. 1 hopper to second, 2 away. Damon makes the play.
I like Dusing on the bump, Davey. I like that big leg kick. You don't see that. Often. They can throw you off balance, especially at a young age.
Here's Charlie Key, the right fielder, 1 for 2. Infield single last time up. First pitch swinging, sending this one out to left, and this is going to leave the yard. Key breaks the tie with a solo home run to left.
Well, the 2 and 3 hitters have been real important for Kentucky in this ball game. Watch Charlie Key extension. He puts his head down. He doesn't even watch it. He knows it's gone. But that's the one you have to watch. I mean, you get one that far. You got to at least admire it a little bit. Yeah, but he can go back and watch the replay on ESPN3 when he gets back to the hotel tonight. He can archive that thing for the rest of his life.
Speaking of home runs, Mac Osbrooks has a 3-run homer in this game, and he's at the plate right now and takes a look at a called strike. You ever hit a Little League home run?
Yeah, it's been a long time ago. Didn't hit too many. I was real skinny as a kid.
I hit 1.
And you remember it, don't you?
Absolutely.
Did you watch it?
I watched it.
There you go. See, I told you. You got to do that.
Swing and a miss.
Osbrooks has actually homered in 2 of his last 3 games. Homered in the championship game of the state tournament. Hit the big 3-run bomb back in the 3rd.
Pitch is low, 1-2. So after trailing in this game 4-0, Kentucky has scored 5 unanswered runs and now lead 5-4.
Did they put the clock on you as you were rounding the bases?
They should have.
Probably took you about 25 or 30 seconds.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Osbrooks would like to get another home run right here. Kentucky would love to go back-to-back. 3-2.
Dusing with that big leg kick and that long arm motion, if he could develop a changeup, I think that would make him real effective, or even at least more effective. Because when you have that long arm motion, if you can perfect a changeup, that can really throw the timing off of the hitter.
Out to right, and that's going to fall in there for a base hit. So a little bit of a looper down the right field line, a single. You see on Kentucky's uniform where they have the interlocking WCS. That stands for Warren County South Little League.
And really, hats off to Kentucky. Again, I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they gave up 14 in the 1st inning. Yesterday, in yesterday's loss, they fell behind 4-0 today. And that home run by Charlie Key, the first lead that this team has had in pool play here as they play in Game 2 of the Great Lakes Regional. So really a nice job by Kentucky today. They battled back yesterday to make it respectable. But today, battling back after a tough 4-0 deficit to take the lead.
Burns with a comebacker. Dusing with the toss over to first, and that's the inning. But Kentucky takes the lead. A solo home run by Charlie Key is now the difference in this ball game. Kentucky 5, Wisconsin 4 as we come back to Indianapolis. Little League World Series, Great Lakes pool play. Both these teams looking for their first win. It's been a pretty good ball game. Wisconsin put a 4-spot up in the bottom of the 2nd. Top of the 3rd, Kentucky ties the game with 4 runs. And in the last half inning, Charlie Key a solo home run, and Kentucky's now got a 1-run lead at 5-4. First pitch swinging. And the out is recorded. Loxton with a nice throw across the diamond. Walasa First pitch swinging, and he's retired. Are we ready for another pitching change? Pum is the next scheduled hitter. It looks like we're going to get Edmondson to hit for him. Lance Upright came in relief in the last inning, and he's going to stay in there.
Number 4, Josh Robertson.
Takes it to the bag, quickly 2 away. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Combs did a nice job with that. Now we'll go to the top of the order. Stroman set to hit for the 3rd time today. He's done a little bit of everything. First pitch is a ball. He had a 2-run triple in the 2nd. He's pitched, he's caught, he's played center.
And 2nd.
Popped up, right field, should end the inning, and that's a very, very quick inning. 4-pitch inning. Kentucky continues to lead at 5-4. Here's a game recap, 2nd inning for Wisconsin. Pum at the plate. And that's going to fall in there for a base hit to score a run. Edmondson comes across. Then in the 3rd, Stroman's going to drive that one to the base of the wall, and it's going to bring home 2 runs. Then we start dealing with the heavy lumber. 3-run shot by Osbrooks makes it a 1-run game. Then, after the game was tied at 4, Key a solo shot, and that's the difference right now as Kentucky has a 5-4 lead. Osbrooks 2 for 3, 3-run shot. Tucker Stroman 1 for 2 with a triple and 2 RBI. And that single run in the 4th is the difference in the game right now. Called strike. Upright is 1 for 2 today. Struck out and singled. 1-1. Dusing may not be big, but he puts it all out there. Check this big leg kick. Comebacker, backhanded play. Oh, that's a nice play. 1 away.
That's a nice play on both ends.
Damon's been really throwing the leather around out there.
He really has. Look at that. Look at the nice backhand, but watch the nice stretch by first baseman Trent Trzynski. But really a nice play on the front end by Dalton going to his right on the backhand.
Dalton started the game at first base and then moved over to second. He's made a couple of good plays there. Justin Combs looks at a strike. One and one. Next pitch will be Dusing's 30th. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Combs with a sharp single to center in his only previous time up in this game.
So you could see Dusing, even though that was a breaking ball, he still took something off, and Combs was way out in front. That's why I say if he could perfect a changeup, it could be even more effective.
And now it's full.
I think that's a pitch that is not utilized enough in youth baseball. Everything's built on speed and power and hard stuff. But a changeup is the ultimate equalizer. I don't care what level of play you're playing.
And Combs probably wishes he had that swing back and looked like it was clearly ball 4, but he chased it and is a strikeout victim.
a little over anxious. And again, I think it's that high leg kick and that long arm motion by Dusing that it's deceptive and it does throw off your timing.
Logsdon is next. 2 outs. Should end the inning. And it does. Swanson makes the play. They go in order in the 5th. And Kentucky continues to lead Wisconsin by a run. Going to the bottom of the 5th. Burlington, Wisconsin trails Kentucky 5-4. Lance Upright remains out on the mound for Kentucky. And our next game coming up, they come quickly, don't they? Midwest Pool play Kansas and Minnesota at 7 o'clock Eastern here on ESPN3. Swanson takes a look at a ball. He's 0 for 2, grounded to second first time up, grounded to short in the 2nd inning, but that ground ball was productive. It brought home a run. 2-0. Both of these teams looking for their first win in pool play. Kentucky right now nursing a 1-run lead, and it's getting late. 3-0. Upright walks him on 4 pitches to start the inning. For Upright, that's his first walk. Time is called. Looks like we're going to get a pitching change. So Upright is out of there. So I would imagine, as Day also goes behind the screen, that Upright will probably come back into the game as a catcher. And Day will come back into the field at a yet to be determined position. And we're still looking for a pitcher. Oh, here we go. Justin Combs will take the mound. Here you go, catcher to pitcher eligibility rules. A player who has played the position of catcher in 4 or more innings in a game is not permitted to become a pitcher that day. Catching 1 or more pitches in an inning constitutes having played the position of catcher for that particular inning. So Justin Combs comes into the game. Upright did a good job.
It did a good job, but that rule was implemented because obviously the 2 positions on the field that throw the most, obviously the pitcher and the catcher's throwing it back every single time. So that's another way of preventing arm injuries by the number of times or the motion of the shoulder and the elbow and things like that. It's interesting, Dr. James Andrews also advocates no more than 9 months of baseball in 1 calendar year, and he encourages kids to do something other than baseball and not to pick up a sport where you're going to have that throwing motion like a football quarterback or throwing a javelin in track and field.
Jay Whalen is now in the game playing right, and Upright, as we predicted, has got the catching gear back on. And Dave Upright was really forward with this information before the game about who he thought might pitch today. And he's been true to his word with Upright and Combs. Also has Charlie Key available. And Whalen is a possibility as well. First pitch is a strike to the group. Charlie Key now has come over to play first base.
Back to one more point about playing multiple sports and trying to cut down on the motion of your right or left arm by playing multiple sports. I think some of the teams up north might have an advantage over that because a lot of those guys are going to play hockey in the offseason.
Called strike 3.
Nice job by Combs coming into the ball game. Little breaking ball on the inside portion of the plate. Nice job of framing there, too, by Lance Upright.
Here's Trent Terzinski. 3rd trip to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Single to center his first time up. Called strike. Here's the 0-1. Flag down by the shortstop. Hit. Logsdon was able to keep that ball from going into left field, so now 2 are on and only 1 out.
Yeah, infield hit, but look at the effort by Owen Logsdon selling out, and look at that effort right there. Man, you know, that's one thing that I have been really impressed in the games that you and I have done, Dave. We have seen some tremendous defense.
We've seen some great defense in this game.
Flashing the leather, I mean, it's just like, it's nothing flat. I mean, SportsCenter could or Baseball Tonight could give, do a whole package of defensive plays here in Indianapolis.
Ball gets away. Both runners advance. So the tying run for Wisconsin is at third. The go-ahead run is at second. Wheels are turning here in this game. Ball 2. I think Combs was really too crazy about that call. You see Terzinski at second. Brenner looking for his first hit today.
5-hole.
Brenner, the number 5 hitter in this lineup. Ball 4, and they're loaded. So Combs, that's the first walk he's issued. Third walk issued by Kentucky pitching in this game. There's your game story right there. 1-run game, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. Burlington. Wisconsin has the bases loaded.
Okay, shall I run?
No. Kentucky defensively in on the corners, back up the middle.
Called strike. Neither one of these teams has won a game yet in pool play. Kentucky's 5 outs away. But the kitchen is getting hot. Strike 2 called. Damon has walked and hit into a force play in this game. A strikeout for Combs would be huge right here. Comebacker into center field. 1 run scores. Here comes Terzinski with the go-ahead run. He'll score, and Wisconsin has taken the lead.
Wow, an 0-2 pitch. And look at the location. It's up. Not a bad location, but Damon stays on top of the baseball and able to guide it into center field. Look at that nice job of getting the head out, but staying on top of the baseball, putting it on the ground, giving his runners a chance to advance. That's a
Deucing at the plate now. He struck out in his only previous plate appearance today. Count is 1-0. Wisconsin has grabbed the lead here. There's a strike. It's 1-1. 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th have pushed Wisconsin in front. Still only 1 out. Strike 2. Two and 2. Curveball stays high, and it's full. Here's the payoff. Hit him.
May have hit the knob of his bat. I thought it hit him too. I thought it hit him on the forearm.
Umpires are going to conference on this one.
Tyler Dusing, young man, I know you want to hit, but you got to sell that a little bit more. Watch this right here. I think it hit the knob of his bat.
See if we can take another look at this. Slow down a little bit. Wow, I think you're right.
Hit the knob of his bat.
Wow.
But see, you could sell that if you're Dusing. You start shaking your hand and take off to first base. And the umpires, it's in Major League Baseball. They don't go to New York to review anything. You got to sell that. But hey, in this situation, I'm sure he wants to swing the stick.
Ball forward.
Ends up at first.
And the bases are loaded again. Second walk issued for Combs. Wisconsin has scored 2 runs here in the frame. They've taken a 6-5 lead. And we may have another pitching change.
Well, you take him out now with just 20 pitches. He can come back and pitch tomorrow. If you go 21 or more, 21 to 35, then you'd be looking at 1 day's rest. So Combs now could be available tomorrow. Again, these two teams playing just their second game of pool play, minimum of 4 games. The top 4 teams in each region, there's 6 total in each region. The top 4 advance to the semifinals.
Danielson is coming into pitch for Kentucky.
This is a nice game going on right now on the right side of your screen. Illinois.
Check that. That's Charlie Key coming in. Key's coming in for Kentucky.
Illinois and Indiana. We saw both of those teams yesterday. 2 quality teams going at it right now. Illinois, in my opinion, probably the most talented team in their regional. However, sometimes the most talented team doesn't advance. They got all the way to the championship game last year undefeated and then lost to Michigan in the championship game.
So in our game,
Illinois was down early in that game.
Key has come on to pitch. Combs has returned to first. And Skylar Danielson, number 8, has picked up a bat and will pinch hit in this situation. Logsdon has been really strong at shortstop today for Kentucky. And there's a good look at Charlie Key. Key's home run gave Kentucky a 5-4 lead, but Wisconsin has rallied for 2 here in the bottom of the 5th, and they're still batting. Bases loaded. Danielson at the plate. Ball 1. So we've seen Day, upright, Combs, and now Key on the mound in this game for Kentucky. Key trying to get out of this jam, keep the deficit at 1, and give Kentucky a chance to tie it or win it in the top of the 6th. There's a strike. It's 1-1.
Key's a strikeout pitcher for Kentucky, as I mentioned earlier. In the championship game of the state tournament, he threw a complete game, struck out 13, including the final 5 in the game.
Strike 2.
Could use a couple of strikeouts right here to give his team a chance to tie it or take the lead in the top of the 6th.
Ooh, that was close. 2-2. Here's another look at that one. This is called a ball. Bases loaded, 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3.
Fastball low and away.
Going to get another pinch hitter up here for Burlington. Jake Scrunge. Strike 1. Swing and a miss. Jake's in an 0-2 hole. Here's the 0-2. Struck him out on 3 pitches, but the damage is done. Dalton Damon with a big 2-run single. And with Team Wisconsin is 3 outs away from victory at 6-5 going to the 6th. I'll tell you what, it's been a sunny day here in Indianapolis. Temperatures in the mid-80s, and this has been a great game if you've been watching this one. Little League World Series, Great Lakes pool play. Both of these teams looking for their first win. And Wisconsin, with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, now lead Kentucky 6-5. DeGroot has come in to pitch.
Head coach Dale DeGroot going to his son to try to secure the save.
And Mason Day, who was the first of 4 pitchers we've seen today for Kentucky, will lead things off, the number 8 hitter. It's been a game of big hits. Osbrooks with a 3-run homer in this game for Kentucky. Charlie Key has a solo shot for Kentucky, but right now Kentucky trails by a run.
Ready?
Yep.
First pitch swinging, it's a base hit back up the middle. So the tying run is aboard to lead off the 6th. Evan McNaughton is now going to hit. Dave upright. So Day will have a pinch runner at first base. Jay Whalen will pinch run. And Evan McNaughton now steps in. Ball 1. What do you think, Rusty? Would you call this a sacrifice bunt situation?
No, I don't think I would. I wouldn't give up an out right here. You're down by 1. You're the visiting team in this league. I think if you put the ball in play, I think I would take my chances. Very difficult to turn a double play. Try to hit the ball on the ground to try to get a runner in scoring position that way.
There's a called strike. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I like Earl Weaver's comment back in the day. They only give me 27 outs. I don't want to waste one.
Popped up. Playable. The shortstop is back and squeezes it. So Swanson makes the catch and 1 man is out. Holman set to head to the plate for his 4th time today. He's singled and struck out in 3 trips. Ball 1. Getting right down to it here. Ball 2. Tying run at first. Wisconsin leads 6-5. To short for 1. Can they turn it? A force play at second base, and Kentucky's down to its last out.
Well, Kentucky has the right 2 guys up. Charlie Key and Mac Osbrooks. Both of those guys have homered.
Key homered his last time up. If he would put one over the wall right now, it would give Kentucky the lead. He's 2 for 3. He's singled and homered. Reaches out and rolls 1 foul. And that last out is always the toughest to get.
It is, but right now, I think, Dave, if you're Charlie Key, you got to forget about the home run you hit back in the 4th. You got to concentrate on making contact, just a base hit. Do whatever you can to get the big stick and Mac Osbrooks up in this situation.
Inside and high, ball 1. So it's 1-1, 2 outs. Kentucky trying to keep this thing going. They're down to their last out, trailing Wisconsin by a run, 6-5. Liner to third, and that's the ball game. Sharply hit ball by Key, who had homered his last time up. but it's snagged at third base, and Wisconsin wins its first game in pool play here in the Great Lakes Regional in Indianapolis.
Interesting, Wisconsin with 4 in the second, 2 in the fifth, the only 2 innings that they have scored in this in 2 games. And so they go to 1-1, and that's a huge victory as Kentucky now falls to 0-2 in pool play.
So here are the standings in Great Lakes pool play up to the moment. Illinois, Indiana at 1-0. Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin all 1-1, and Kentucky is 0-2. So for my partner, Rusty Inzer, I'm Dave Weekley saying so long from Indianapolis. Good ball game here. Wisconsin rallies late, and they beat Kentucky 6-5. We'll be back up in just about an hour with another game from here in Indianapolis, and we hope you can join us then.